Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts. So sorry about my little rant yesterday, but these things come up every now and again. So today the two shout outs I want to do is for Trev's blog. Trev is a professional metal worker, and they do, I think it's called Racing or Car and Race. I think it is down somewhere near Somerset, I believe. Really very informative videos, and his work is top notch. The two people I watch regularly on YouTube for metal work is Matt from Fab, another brilliant, what this guy can't do with metal is unbelievable, brilliant fabricator. And when it comes to body work, it's definitely Trev's blog, because he make the panels he makes and the videos how he shows how things are done is just incredible. Really go and have a look at Trev's blog and Fab for fabrication. The second one I want to shout out is Tom Shorrock at Total Car Reviews. Tom's editing is second to none. It's almost TV like, but it's not just his editing. The content he has is great as well. He's a young guy, so obviously a lot of the younger guys will go and watch him. And he's one of the very few people that has a channel where his subscriptions are what he gets in views. I get certainly nothing like it. I have quite a few subscriptions, but the views I get are nothing like, which is fair enough. I'm a bit of an old dude and they're probably boring. But yeah, he's got there's one channel where his subs are pretty much what he gets in views, and that's quite unusual for YouTube. Anyway, so today I'm showing you some of the other stuff we're getting on with, the wax oiling, the finishing off on the silent coat, and a few things that I come up with, or I've come across since trying to start it on yesterday, because it's the first time I've used this silent coat. I have used X-Mat and a few other things from America, but they're quite a bit more expensive. And you can see also in the video I've put the rubbers into the windscreen. So I will go over that when we put all the screens in, so you'll get to see how it's done. But if you're fitting a new rubber, you want to fit it early in the build so that it gets shape to it. And when you're doing it, make sure where the join is in the rubber, because they are joined, just make sure there's no tear in it, or because you're going to have to put super glue or whatever in it. Make sure the join is right in the center at the bottom with the rubber. And then when you go to put your security strip in, make sure that the joint is at the top. And there's a reason for that. The reason is that you don't want to put two joints together. You're asking for trouble. Secondly, the reason that if you put the security strip at the top is you have a water channel going around the top of the roof, so no water's going on it. You have a very small, it's not even half an inch of distance of metal before it hits the rubber. And on the bottom is where all the water will sit, because you've got a massive surface area as the windscreen, and if it's going to leak, it will leak at the bottom. And this is why the security strip should be solid at the bottom and made at the top, and conversely, the rubber should have the join in the bottom, so they're secured both ends. Anyway, we'll go through that when we do it. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope it's of some use to you. Tomorrow there won't be a video because I have to go to Vienna to the airport, and so I'll film something on Wednesday. So take care. Bye for now. So one of the things I forgot to put in the first video, I haven't completely done this out, and there's a number of reasons for that. I just bent this silent coat over here to get the creases right in it, but it's not actually stuck on, it's still got the paper on it. And the reason is that I want to be able to get into this box section here and wax oil the whole thing. So you can see I've actually cut it to shape to go over the box section. And I'll do that before I put this on afterwards. And obviously you need to make sure that you've got the holes there for the seat brackets all lined up properly before you start that. One other thing that I didn't mention yesterday, which is, I know it sounds obvious, but you forget when you're doing it, is that because you've got these strengthening ribs in the Mini, what you want to be doing is because obviously if you put that flat, this is going to be shorter by the time it goes into these wrinkles. So it's a good idea to actually make sure when you start, if you're putting it in, apart from measuring it, is when you put it in, you take the paper off a little bit at a time and push it into these grooves first, and then across, and then into the next set of grooves and so on. And obviously that will be shorter then. So you need to take that into consideration when you're doing it. So yeah, I've basically got everything lined up on this side. The other issue is not to go too far up this inner sill, because if you go too far up, because of the inlay and the carpet, you'll not get it behind the rubbers, so you want to kind of stop short to take into account the carpet and the underfelt. Otherwise you will not get this rubber seal on around the door properly. So just a couple of quick things. As you can see, I've put the windscreen rubber in there, the one in the front and the one in the back and back window. Try and put these in as early as you possibly can so you get some shape to them. And as you can see, that door seal is in as well. So I'll take you around and I'll show you the door. And like I say, this is a common problem, this, where this won't fit properly. There's a big gap, there's a standoff between it. So you have to make sure it's on the second click when you do it, but you can see that door line is still good, even with the brand new seal in it. And it will get looser if you like. Loose is not the right word to use, but it will bed in. They do take time because the rubbers are made of different materials nowadays. You know, they're not exactly the same as they were in the old days. They probably weren't not as soft as they used to be. So this is something to think about when you do it. One last thing I didn't mention about this silent coat is I've used different types of this before. I never used this silent coat, but I have used others from Eastwood in America, different types, and I found this one is pretty good. It's quite thin. It goes in easily. It sticks well, and it's fairly good value for money. The ones I had from Eastwood in America through Frost Restorations in the UK, the north of England, was quite a bit less for quite a bit more money. I think it was an extra, I think there were £110, £108 for less matting compared to 80 for these boxes. So this silent coat is pretty good. The only downside to it is you need to be very careful with it. When you cut this stuff, wear some gloves or something, because what I found out yesterday, and you can probably see from that little pinky and that forefinger, that it's extremely sharp, especially when it gets knurled up like this on an edge. It's like a razor once it's been cut. So be very careful on that, especially if you're putting your fingers over it. You're just asking to rip your fingertips open. So be very careful with this stuff. Okay, so as I said, the reason I haven't done the rest of the car or the box section is because I want to do some wax oil. Now this is for instance, a wax oil. This is Terrasun. This is a style that you can put a plastic end on it, and it's a spray can style. And you can. The only problem with them is the white hoses that go on them are not particularly long, but it is a way of getting in and using it. This is another form of it, Terratex, and this is wax oil inside. Now, if it's very cold, best idea with this is to pop it into a bucket of hot water or warm water and get it liquid. So the more liquid it is, the better it will spray out the nozzle. Okay, when I bought this kit, this is a special wax oiling kit, you can see it's got two connections. It's got this one here, so you can get inside with it and push and squirt it where you want. And then on the one that's inside this sill now has a swirl nose on it, so it swirls in a 360 direction, and obviously the gun, you just fill it up like you would a spray gun. But this has a particularly long hose on it. So I've got it inserted in that sill at the moment, and it's right up to that jacking point. So if I take it out, I'll just disconnect it here, and I'll show you what I mean. So I can pull this, if it's there. I can take that right through the sill, and there it is. And you can see that's right up to the jacking point there. And then obviously, because I've got these holes in the bottom and this one in here, I can actually go through there and go through to the other end, which is there. You can see that's the other end of it there. So yeah, so this is the time to wax oil the car now, before we start doing any more. I can do all the box sections, all the inner and outer sills, the front bulkhead, and so on and so forth, and the cross member. And this is why I want to do it before we start putting any more matting down. I've put the door seal in here, and I'll show you around the car, and you'll see that the front windscreen rubber is in, front windscreen rubber's in, the rear windscreen rubber's in. I don't know why, but I can't find the rubber for that side. And there are different types of rubbers. The one I have in my beige Mini has, on the door opening, it has 2 gaps in it to allow water through and to compress easier. Because the doors can be very difficult. When you first put them on, they're very, very tight, and it takes time for them to be crushed down. So this is just something to look to. So when you're building the car, this is the time to put in the windscreen rubbers, so they're getting used to being in place. I mean, obviously you can't do it, you know, while doing repairs, but if you can put them in early enough, the longer you put them in, the more shape they'll take and the better they'll be. Same with the doors. If you put, before it goes for paint, if you finished up the door surrounds, put your seals in, and then put your doors on, and then match your locks up to the doors. Because normally what happens is, people finish the car, they put it all back together, they put the new door seals in, suddenly the door sticks out like this. And it's because the rubber is standing it off, and they haven't taken that into consideration with the door lock. So don't just fit the doors without it, put the rubber in and try and shut the door and see where you go from there. Otherwise you'll end up with problems here, and particularly down here. They'll stick out. You can see here it's nice and flush, but we tried them on when we fitted the doors. So another tip. So tomorrow there won't be any video because I have to go to Vienna from my home here and pick up the guests from the airport. So we'll catch you on Wednesday. So stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and yeah, catch you Wednesday. Take care, bye.